one of the most amazing things is how are digital series, right? How are they really? So English is the most language, yes. Web series are a global window, and English definitely is the key. If your content is not in English, you should subtitle it. Yeah, web series have their own structure and style. They have characteristics of their own. So they are based on like the episodes of television, but they're the smaller brother, right? The rebel brother that is doing some of the things are a little bit different. So the product comes from and imitates other formats, but so it really stems from other media, of course, because we have all of this in our system. We've studied and we've seen films, we've seen television, so we're already contaminated with all of this. So we always tend to imitate some of the things from other formats, but we have some things on our own. So yes, web series are short. Some of them very short, some of them longer. I'll tell you a little bit more about the formats that I found. The length of the seasons is shorter normally than in television series, but yeah, web series are structured as television in episodes and seasons. Some strange shows keep on episodes and then just call it episode 55, 56. But normally most series do it like in television in episodes and seasons. So it's kind of like the mainstream way of doing it. Comedy is like the biggest genre, but there's an amazing wide range of genres in the web series. The good thing is that there's a lot of mixes, a lot of, for example, reality show slash slasher. You know, like they tend to mix a lot more. Or, for example, musical with vampires. There's a lot of mixes and very interesting and funny mixes. And sorry, the structure varies from one genre to another, as I will tell you in a little bit. So yeah, it's a global, internationalized product. English is the language that prevails. The technical characteristics, I would say there has to be a very big difference with the pace, with the editing, and with the plots. You cannot tell the same story in 1 minute that you can tell in 10 minutes that you can tell in 1 hour. Does it mean that in 1 hour I have to bore the person because it came from a 1 minute idea? No, they're different. You in the web series are just short. You have to cut straight to the point. They say now that Netflix used to say that 21st seconds, I have to know what the show is about and what the genre and what my main character is. And now they say in 5 seconds. So that's what you have to think about. We are so high paced that we don't have 10 seconds to look at the show and not go away. So you have to really take a pace and tell the story really quickly, especially at the beginning in the first episode. So the episodes tend to be from 1 to 10 minutes, 1 to 15, I would say, and they got a little bit longer throughout time. They're structured in episodes and seasons, and they're mostly comedic. So regarding the distribution, web series are starting to be distributed by other television networks, but YouTube still was the leader back then and still is kind of the leader today. 1 out of 4 web series reaches a big audience. It's okay if your first web series is not reaching the biggest audience. The amount of social media accounts to have, one thing about the audience. Sometimes it's better to have less audience or to have them in a private way to sell them to other platforms because they don't want something that has been out there. So sometimes a weakness can become strength. So that's what you have to take into account also. The amount of social media accounts to have is like 3 or 4. Those who had more were not working because people did not have the real time. Facebook and Twitter were among them back then, but of course now Twitter is dead, and Instagram is key, and TikTok is also key. So advertising will not get real fans. Advertisement will help you have a lot of views in one episode, but for one concrete promotion that you want to do. But the advertising, the people that go to your series with advertising will not watch your whole show. Also, the press helps, and web series have been very present in the press. And I would suggest you to write some magazines or some media, because they will probably be interested in your web series if you're distributing it. And this also always helps. And festivals are very, very important to creators because you give value to what you're doing, to your work, and it's really, really important to get valued, but also to feel valued. Web series have followed the path of film, television, and short films for its distribution. So we still submit to festivals, go to events, and do all of the obvious. They are on open platforms, on apps, on television, on VOD platforms, on social media. They're everywhere. That's the thing. We cannot say, many people ask me, like, where do I watch web series? Like, the answer would be where you don't watch web series. You can watch them on Instagram. You can watch them on Facebook. You can watch on YouTube, on Vimeo. You know, on Netflix, there's many web series as well. What are we talking about web series? Because there's very different ways people approach, you know, the term. We normally speak as web series or digital series like those that are 15 minutes or less, but sometimes there's exceptions, and there's one that is a bit longer, one that is a bit shorter. It's really difficult to put things in boxes, right? As I said at the beginning with myself. And what is the difference between a web series and a regular series? Well, everything is faster, everything is shorter, you know, we have to compromise. A very fun thing that I figured was the ideal budget for viewership was 2,000 per episode. So those that had less than 2,000 per episode were getting less views. But if the budget went over 2,000, we could say maybe 2,500 now, right? Because probably everything has gone up. But those that were above that, that amount of money did not always repercute in a bigger audience. That was a fun thing too.